Well, there seems not to be an end to educating you on legal issues that really matter to you. And you remember vividly that last week we treated financial crimes and the role of the EFCC. And we are delving deeper into these shocking waves, looking at the high-profile fraud cases that the anti-graft body has been upon, I mean the EFCC, and of course up to even recovering assets, and the rights of the individuals who are seen as suspects in all of this, in the web of the corruption and of course crime being committed. My name is Philip Omo-Gyukpon, and on the ride in this exciting episode, I still have with me a custodian of the law, the chairman of Young Lawyers Forum, Benin Branch, Osamwede Ogbomo. Thanks for joining me, lawyer.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Remember, in our previous episode, we gave a head start to what financial crime is all about, what it comprises of, looking at the Nigerian context. And now we will look at the stolen assets, of the country and the recovery plans of the EFCC. A lot has been said that the EFCC seems not to be transparent the way it should be, although this is an arm of the executive. So let's look at the aspects of recovery of these stolen assets. How do you access the EFCC in performing this role?
And before going into that, I think there's a need to finish up the process in which actually prosecute those individuals.
Oh, okay, but we'll still go back to it anyways. But let's hear you.
So, first of all, they investigate all these crimes. Then they invite these individuals, invite them or arrest them if need be. They take their witness statements, depending on their lawyer or any other persons that are mentally capable. They take their witness, and if there's a need or they feel there's more investigation to be conducted on that person, they can detain the person or do administrative bail. So the person reports when they want the person to report.
Okay.
So if there's a crime that needs to be prosecuted, they charge the person to court. So they go through trial, or they could be plea bargain. The person says he's guilty. I'm ready to give out the such forms, the funds or the asset that I got illegally for a reduced sentence or for a fine. So there are a lot of procedures that you can go through. So or the person can be convicted, and can be given a fine or imprisoned. Understand? So these are the various ways the EFCC persecutes these individuals. Okay. In terms of recovery, I believe personally it's commendable on the part of the EFCC in the various in the results we have seen so far.
Oh,
in recovery.
The scorecard you are giving is impressive.
No. I do some work against them, but truth be told, they have done a good job even under the new leadership. So I believe so, and we could see the Abacha loot over the years as becoming in. Then we look at the Alisi Maduke loots that have recovered so far. We also see recently the former CBN governor Mefele. We saw a lot of houses that was newly discovered and sum of money. So I believe they're doing their job. There's always room for improvement, but at least we should commend the things we see.
A lot of persons have said that, during investigations and, of course, looking at the access that have been recovered, there seems not to be an exact amount being communicated on the recovery of these assets in figures.
No, I will
and again, that gives an impression that there could be a case wherein you have to investigate the thief in the agency that catches the thief.
No, I will contest that in the sense that I believe what people are saying is they give certain amounts, but we don't know how this money are being utilized.
Are you saying that what they get, they actually transparently, give account for it? Is that what you're saying? Because there could be a communication gap if you say so.
What I'm saying is there's a specific amount communicated to the public that this is social amount we recover of so and so person.
Yes.
We assume or we presume that is the truth.
Yes.
This is the amount that was recovered at so and so time. But then there's an only issue is what happens after.
What happens after?
Yes, my only issue is where are these monies being pushed in? I don't understand. We see a situation where under the Buhari administration, I think he had a lot of Abacha's wealth loot coming in, a lot, almost going to millions of dollars. And then our budget for that particular period, I think it was even more than, it was almost going to that particular period. Then you see issues of, you are still asking for debts, you are still asking for loans, Where are this money, used to cover the loopholes that the budget didn't cover? We don't know. I don't know how they used it. Under the Buhari time, the period for Buhari administration, we saw economically, we saw a fusion of money going to a one federation account. Most of the money were centered in a system. We see most of the federal ministries, all the money paid were through electronic means to remitter. They centralized most of the payments going to one account. You understand? We see a process where money giving is enforced to ensure that the money goes in. The flow of money goes in, but we don't know how the flow of money goes out. That's always been the problem. That's always the problem, where we see enforcement to make sure that money goes into the government. But now when the money is leaving, it's blank. What's going on is that there's not enough enforcement. Is that the enforcement of laws that has to do with getting money from is now even more powerful than enforcement to regulate how money goes out. So it has always been a big problem for me.
Okay.
A lot of debates.
Well, let's not debate more on that.
Exactly.
Or otherwise, if you ask me,
Yes.
questions emanate from various corners that the anti-graft agency as a body, they are not in total, transparent. In the money that they recover, because sometimes we hear stories about some money is not accounted for.
In terms of administering the money recovered,
exactly, that's where you are. But I'm at the transparency,
yes,
in giving account of all the monies they actually recovered.
The money.
Some believe that they don't transparently, present to the public all the monies recovered. Because we've had issues where, there was a blame game, as regards within the EFCC. And that again has brought issues about the change of the, boss in charge of the EFCC in time past. And we've not forgotten those history.
Well, to me personally, money recovered are not left under the control of the EFCC. We have an act, Proceeds of Crimes, Recovery and Management Act, and it has a body that has to do with the recovery and management of these proceeds of crimes. It's a commission. You understand? So I believe the system, the way it works, that money recovered does not remain in the EFCC to now administer. The EFCC's work is to investigate, arrest, and recover. They don't administer. They are not charged with the function of utilizing those monies.
No, expenditures. They don't spend it.
They don't spend it.
I think the public is aware of that.
Yes, you understand.
The bone of contention is, I don't know if you got me. The bone of contention is, give to the public the actual amount you recovered.
I believe, but
what you communicate to the public, does it depict the exact amount you recovered? Or some are being stolen within the agency? In black and white. That's what I mean.
Okay. Me personally, I'm not in the agency, but the figures they give, I presume, those are the true figures until I'm proved or all
right. Let's look at between 2015 and 2023.
Okay.
The EFCC recovered over 1 trillion naira in looted funds. So it's more than 1 trillion.
Bulk of it is from
yes, in looted funds. No, that aside.
Okay.
They recovered foreign currencies, amounting, including another $121 million, and then 1.7 million pounds, and then 162,000 euro, and in CFA, 294,000 in 2021 alone. Okay. So repatriation of over $300 million from the United States of Abacha's loot. and other countries. Now, questions being asked. Good enough. There's a legal framework that have established the EFCC to go after investigation, prosecution of suspects in order to get all of these, looted funds.
Yes.
But do you see this agency as having an act that establishes it from being subject to political manipulation? Are they truly independent?
Okay, the provisions of the legislations that governs EFCC, which is the EFCC Act, strives to ensure that the agency is free from political manipulation. Strives. But then will not come.
So it's not entirely free.
Huh?
It's not entirely free. That's what you mean.
No. There's always a need to, as time goes, there's always a need to always amend, to restitute committees to check this. The Act is 2 and 4, around 2025. You understand? So obviously there's some loopholes that it doesn't cover. Although it doesn't work in vacuum, it works with the other legislation to cover those loopholes. So I mentioned some legislation earlier, Money Laundering Act 2022, Constitution to build its structure. It doesn't work on itself. So what I'm saying is, in practice, the president appoints the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and that has always been a big problem for me.
Exactly, that's where I'm going.
You understand? Because practically, emotionally, I will not want to appoint someone that I don't know. Can I appoint someone that I have a form of filial relationship with?
That's not loyal to you.
I don't use the word lawyer, but then I have to put a familiar face. And I believe that has always been a problem. And I think that has always been one of the major barrier in ensuring complete independence of the EFCC. I think that's one of the major barrier because the executive, that is the mantle of the executive, appointing the chairman of the EFCC. So that has been a very big barrier, because it's like you telling someone appoints you and you say you should work against it. The FCC is supposed to regulate the activities of all arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, in terms of financial crimes. You understand?
Okay.
And then we have practically seen political interference. We see it every day. We see selective persecution.
That speaks a lot. But just in case you're following, it's Law and You, and it's brought to you courtesy of Noah Attorneys, a firm of legal practitioners based in Benin City, Nigeria. And of course, you can react to the topic via the numbers writing on the screen. Now, let's take it home a bit. We have the Abacha loot that was recovered, that a chunk of about $300 million from the United States and other countries. And if you remember vividly, even what the wife of the late general said, that no matter how many monies that they recover, that the family will not be as poor as Dangote. That's quite interesting. Now, some have asked, if this body is truly independent, I think that's subject to investigation. If this body is independent or has an act that establishes it to be independent, why go after the loot, of the late general alone? Why don't also go after the loot of even current generals? Because we seem to be able to recover that because the general got late. But what about those who ruled us, former heads of state that ruled in Nigeria? So do you see this act as having provisions that can make it work in terms of being independent? Or what do you see as reforms that can be brought up in order to make it truly independent?
Okay, coming from that angle, we have seen situations where the FCC has tackled and persecuted former governors of states.
Don't forget, I'm following this chronologically.
Yes.
I didn't start with governors.
Okay.
I said, generals,
Yes.
because we had head of states, and gradually we will get to governors.
Yes.
But let's look at head of states. We've had other head of states,
Okay.
not just Abacha.
Okay.
I don't want to mention names. You understand where I'm going?
Yes.
So why is the act that established it to be independent to go after that? Why is it not going after other heads of state? Does it mean, because you said earlier that, well, he's vulnerable to political manipulations and interference because he's the president that even appoints who becomes the boss of the EFCC. And I asked, what are the reforms do you suggest in order to correct this anomaly? Because it's supposed to be independent.
I think we'll leave the reforms for now and actually tackle your question.
I want you to tackle it all along.
So first of all, I told you the process in which the EFCC do their work. They start from investigation.
Yes, Ali.
And if you investigate, you have to have evidence to back up what you are going to prosecute.
Yeah.
So if you tell me this person stole money, I do my investigation, and I cannot say something to tie the person to, should I still go ahead and prosecute him?
You are not speaking for the EFCC.
No, I'm not.
I know.
I'm just speaking generally.
Yes.
Generally.
Yes.
If you give me a petition somebody and say this person has stolen money, say no problem, I will go and investigate if so and so person actually is doing what he says he's doing. And then I go and do my investigation, and I cannot get a strand of evidence to show that this person is doing a financial crime. I go ahead and go and prosecute?
Why won't you get an evidence? Don't you know it's possible that evidences can be killed?
We are aware.
You are a lawyer.
I'm aware.
And you understand the fact that there can be, files that can be stopped from being investigated. Because we started with who appoints the chairman. Because we look at the dictum which says, he who pays the piper dictates the tone.
No, I'm going there generally. I'm just talking generally.
Okay.
So, but we cannot begin different variables, whether a file lost or we're just talking. Let's be factual. Let's be specific. You understand? But flowing from that, as I said before, so that the issue of political interference, I use the word selective prosecution.
Exactly.
I use the word selective prosecution. I'm just trying to build it to something because we cannot begin variables. We'll say. Maybe fact could be lost, or maybe I work with facts. I don't work with what could happen. But as I said before, we have seen situations of selective prosecution. We have seen persons that obviously should have been prosecuted, but for one reason or the other, they have not been prosecuted.
So how do we correct it? Because you made mention of the political interference.
Yes. So
how do we correct it? Because if you even the aspect you also said concerning governors, we've seen situations where they say that by the time a governor or a defect from one party to another to the ruling party, the governor's sins are forgiven, and such governors are not really, indicted by any anti-graft agency.
Like I said before, when the appointment of the head of the commission is removed from the executive and given to an independent body to appoint persons they feel are suitable for such position, I believe that's where our problem will start reducing.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay, an independent body.
An independent
to
body.
be given to an independent body.
Yes,
that cannot be manipulated by any political machinations.
Even be within the EFCC. They know themselves. They know who are working. They know.
No. It isn't right to be for you to be within the EFCC.
No, I'm just saying there could be a body.
It should be a neutral body.
There could be a body within the EFCC, or it could be an independent body separate that appoints these persons. So I believe when we start from that, I believe then we start seeing progress in terms of selective prosecution, or in terms of the executive having control over the commission, as it were. So I believe it starts from there. I believe there should be a review of the legislation, particularly the EFCC Act.
Okay.
Understand? There should be a review of the provisions because crimes have evolved. So, and there should be a particular ambit of what the EFCC function covers. There should be specific. It should be specific. It should be detailed. So I believe there should be a review of the Act.
Okay.
There should be a review of the Act, and to also include the independency of the EFCC to remove them from the control of the executive.
All right, thank you so much, Samuel De Ogbomo, the chairman of Young Lawyers Forum Benin Branch. And of course, this program has been on to address issues as regarding financial crimes and how to tackle it headlong, looking at the role of the EFCC. We do this same time next week. I am Philip Omo Gupo. Goodbye.